So today we have a very different video that I normally would not do or have done. So you might not like this exact style or what I'm gonna have to say, so I'm just putting that out before we even go into this, since some of you are just like that and I don't know why, but you are. So that's your fair warning before we get into this. But before we actually start this off, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm some genius in this type of field and I know what I'm doing and all of that, since I'm 100% sure that the people actually designing all this stuff is way better than I will ever be at it. But I do have some opinions and I am going to share them. So no hard feelings to 100 Thieves, since they're still my favorite organization. I guess that's what you call them. You get what they are. They're still my favorite, always will be. But this drop that they are dropping this Saturday, it's kind of lacking in some fields, brother. So start this off, let's actually show you what's in the drop. So everything you have in this drop is 3 t-shirts, 1 black, 1 white, and 1 in-store exclusive. Then you have the 100 Thieves branded hoodie, snapback, or I guess hat, whatever you want to call it, shorts, and joggers. And last but not least, you have the bomber jacket. So as you will see on the screen, you will notice probably something all in common for all of these. That's the 100 logo. Now 100T, just 100. I don't know why, but sure. So obviously the 100 is for 100 Thieves, minus the Thieves part. But I feel like this is one of the main problems just overall in this entire drop. You know, the logo that they have here is, you know, it's the 100 with a border around it in most scenarios, and I believe that the logo would look fine if the font of the actual logo, the actual 100, was better, since I'm not really sure what it is, but the font just is not it. And you know, some of the placement on it, it's weird. It's very hard to explain, but the font that they use for this is really weird. I don't know what I'm trying to put it on. It's just weird. So I feel like if they made it a little stronger and bolder, it would look better, but I would have to go through a bunch of fonts to see really what that would look like. So let's use the hoodie, the gray hoodie, for example. So this is by far, don't hate me on it, this is by far the worst piece in this drop, with the giant 100 in the middle. So personally, if they just made this smaller, the 100 logo, it would look fine. Maybe give it a better color than gray, since personally I don't like rocking gray, as I believe it's a little too plain, just a little too not alive for you, versus like black or white or red, something that matches their theme better. It's just gray, and gonna keep it real, I'm not wearing gray out on like a Tuesday, so that's just something I would do. And you know, to support this, we're gonna use let's use their old cream hoodie from back in the day. I guess they re-released it, but you get the point. The old cream hoodie, same concept here. They have a smaller logo, and you know, they have the original 100 Thieves logo, but let's just say they have the 100 logo, and you know, it's smaller, right? So it's about the size of like 2 finger widths apart, and it's not giant in the middle. You know, the color of the actual hoodie is just way better, it just complements it better, versus this gray, which is just the biggest meh that you could get. Like if this was white, the 100 was smaller, and you know, it would just look better. Or maybe black or something. This gray just does not go with it. Or if you want to use the border around it and the normal logo that you see here, we could use something like the Supreme BOGO, right? Is that it? The box logo, that hoodie that everyone wears, that is probably going to be fake. But notice how Supreme hoodies don't have a giant Supreme logo this big, just in your face. They're smaller, a little more stretched out, and they complement the hoodie very nicely. Now, there's also this thing that you could probably see if you notice it. There's the original 100 Thieves logo on the sleeve, which I just really don't vibe with, since it just doesn't go well with the more simplistic logo here. It just kind of ruins the whole vibe of the outfit. I don't know actually why they put that there, but they did. So the gray hoodie, it's not hard to make it look better. It's just, it looks really bad. I'm gonna keep it real. This looks like something I would get out of a thrift shop that I just would not pick up, since I'm sorry, I'm just gonna keep it real. So don't hate me on it. Now, it's kind of like the same with all the shirts. Just the only difference is that the shirts have no border around the logo on it. So you have the same 100 font, which still is just not the move. Just now you have the word Thieves right below it, and you know, I like it. It looks good. Maybe make the Thieves, the actual like word that says Thieves, a little closer to the 100 logo. not directly under the logo, but just closer to it, since it feels really spread apart. But I'm not too much complaining on that, since it looks fine, but just a little bit closer. Then another thing is that they have the original 100 Thieves logo again on it, and at this point they should have just got rid of it, since just again does not complement the whole simplistic vibe here. It just ruins it. So it's really the main thing you're gonna get when you see that. It just ruins it. But one thing I would do is that get rid of the original 100 Thieves logo and the 100 logo, put that on the sleeve, put the Thieves where the 100 logo is. I mean, if you think about it, it would look really cool, and it just wouldn't be how it is now. It would just look better in my opinion. Keep the red too. The red just complements it even more. But again, how they have it now, I like the front, just the sleeve just throws the whole thing off, which I don't know why they did it. So going off from that, we have the beanie. Okay, the beanie I'm not gonna go too much on, since I don't really rock a beanie too often, since it's a beanie. I just can't rock hats very well. But only thing I would say is maybe make the middle of it, like the lip of the beanie, say 100 the logo, or 100 Thieves. Just again with a different font with a different font. Maybe no border around it, since you clearly see like a border around it, which it looks fine, but I'm just not vibing with it too hard. Maybe get rid of that, just stitch in the word 100 or 100 Thieves in it, maybe even just Thieves. But other from that, it would just look fine. I just don't like how they have the 100 on the hat part and the Thieves on the lip. It's very interesting how they got it with that, but it looks fine. It's a beanie. You can't really mess up a beanie too much. So to get rid of this, just get this out of the way, since I know I'm gonna have to do it, and I really don't want to do it. The sweats in this drop, okay? The sweats are just tog, dude. I don't know even why they put them in there, since 9 times out of 10, if I'm wearing sweats, it's one of those stay at homes on the weekend vibe, and not to be worn out. And again, if I'm buying 100 Thieves stuff, which if you don't know, they usually cost a pretty penny, I'm not gonna get some sweats to wear on the weekend. So to keep it short, I just would not have had these in the drop. And if they were in the drop, not the color gray. It's just gray are the worst for sweats. Maybe black I would rock it more, but gray, that's the wake up on a Sunday, make breakfast, throw those Johns on, and that's your day right there. So yeah, it's just an interesting vibe. So going on, the last two things before the big thing is, let's just start off with the snapback, okay? Or the hat, whatever the hell you want to call it. So, it's pretty simple. The only thing killing it is the huge logo in the middle with, again, the awful font on it. It's just, the font kills it, dude. Really, the logo would be fine, and the best way they could really do this to really make it look the best is, for example, we're going to use a golf from Golf Wing. Let's use that hat. I'll just throw up some picture of one I found. So this hat has the same design of it to a certain point, where it still has the logo and the box logo on it. The only difference here is that not only is it a better font, which makes it look better, but the actual logo itself is a little smaller and stretched versus the 100 Thieves, which is just clamped up and just thrown on the hat right in the middle, saying like 100 right in your face. I just like this golf one way better because it's very nice. It's not too much in your face. It just looks good with the hat overall. And again, this 100 Thieves one, it's just too much in your face. I don't know why they did it like that, but hey, if they like it, they like it. And it doesn't even look, it looks like they just printed it on there. It doesn't even look that great, so that's there. And to further go on with this, here's another golf hat. This one is all green with no box around it. So this, it's simple, okay? It just says golf on there, but it looks fine. Notice how you're not sitting there like, I don't like that, okay? You're probably sitting there like, I guess it looks kind of cool. The thing with this is that it's a better logo, or not logo, font, my bad. It's a better font. The font is just better on it, which it's really the main thing that comes down, is that the logo itself would be so much better if the font was better. And again, with this, the word golf isn't inflated in your face. It's just a nice slim stretch golf. sitting there and it looks better on your eyes. So it's really the only thing I would do to make this snapback look better, is just make the font better and make the logo a little more friendly on the eyes. So yeah, now on to the next part. These are the shorts, which actually look pretty fine, not going to lie. I do like them quite a lot, and I really like how the drawstring, or the string of the shorts, they look really nice, and how they're just there. I mean, can't go too much on them. They also have that little metal tip at the very tip of the string, which it goes a long way, trust me. Really the only thing I would change here is the same thing with the hats, where make the logo better first off, then smaller and a little more stretched out, so it's not in your face, but not too small where you can't see it. You still want to see it, just stretcher, just slimmer, basically, just make it slimmer. So other from that, good job on that. The shorts look pretty fine, I'm not gonna lie. I rock those out on a summer day. But going on to the bread and butter of this drop, this is the bomber jacket. So this is pretty hard to mess up because it's a bomber jacket, and you know, it looks fine. There's a small thing that's been going to nitpick in here. So first thing I want to point out is, first things first, rest in peace Uncle Phil. Okay, to get that out of the way, first thing actually first is that the thing they did with this, which I think they should have done with the other shirts and tops, like I've said they should, is, you know, replace the 100 logo and put it on the sleeve, okay, and just keep the Thieves in the middle. Notice how they did that, and notice how much better it looks, okay? It just supports me saying do that, okay? It just, come on, it just looks better, you can't lie. Then another thing they should have done with the rest of these tops is the original 100 Thieves logo on the side. I mean, again, I would have just taken them off in general because it just throws the whole vibe off, but you could barely see it there, and that's because it's like a matte black finish, okay? I feel like if they did more of a matte look for each top versus just the jacket, it would look way better, since it's not too in your face, and again, you could barely notice it, so it doesn't throw off the vibe completely, versus the shirts, which you just see that and it just ruins the whole simplicity vibe. So it just looks way better than the other ones with the jacket, so you just can't hate on it. Then again, the jacket, it's very hard to mess this up. The only other thing is there's a back on this, and you probably can't tell that because you can't see the back, but I'm going to show you the back of this. Okay, so it was actually quite hard to find like a good photo of the back, so here's a very poor quality photo from their website that I found, which to my knowledge this is only on the jacket, which I would imagine it's on the back of the shirts and the hoodies, but who knows. To all I know, it's just on the back of the bomber jacket, which, you know, I saw this with better quality on pages like Nadeshot's Instagram, which it was on his story, which if you know how stories work, it's no longer there. So as you can see from here, basically all I know is that the back of this bomber jacket, it has the numbers from 1 to 100, and it has the 100 in red. So I don't know how, but this design on the back is by far the most fire and the most ugliest design I think I've ever seen. It's really hard to explain. So the thing about this is that the design on the back in general is always fire, since it's on the back, and come on, if you see a design on the back, you're going to like it. Just something about it really throws it off in a weird vibe of. So let's put it like this. This design, it's very simplistic. Obviously, it's just 1 through 100 with the 100 in red, and obviously it's supposed to be like that, since the back has to complement the front very well. So this back on this jacket complements the front of the jacket very well, and that's why it looks so good. But they could have done a way better design for the back of this, but if they did a way better design for the back, they would have had to change the front to complement that, so it doesn't look out of proportion and out of place. It's weird. It's kind of like a bridge, how they like connect each other, or a better way I could put this is like interludes and all that in albums. On their own, they're not too great, but if you put them together, it just all adds up and makes it a complete piece, okay? It's very hard to see where I'm getting at, but if you get where I'm getting at, you understand. So the back has to complement the front, and this back does a very good job at complementing the front, but it's not that great of a design. They could have done something way better. The only problem is that they would have to change the front to match it better and make it look as a whole, okay? It's very weird how this is going on in my mind. I'm not sure if any of you else think like that. It's just when I was seeing this, I just thought like that. So I don't know. So basically, all that was my hot take on the new 100 Thieves drop, which, you know, I know they could do so much better since they've done way better before. And in all, I think the thing that really holds this drop back is the 100 logo that they use, how they place it on the logos and the actual pieces themselves. Did I say how they place it on the logos? You know, how they place it on the pieces themselves. So I honestly feel like they tried to be too simplistic on this drop, which, I mean, honestly, if you look at it, it's supposed to be a simplistic design, but the thing with the simplicity is that you really can't overthink it, or it becomes too simple and just ruins the whole vibe. It's really weird how you explain it, but if you really overthink simplicity, you just overdo it and it just does not go well. So with this, if you look at it, which I'm not sure if you're like me, which I imagine you're not, but this whole entire drop gave me a whole kind of Kanye Yeezus vibe to it. I mean, when I was going through these pieces and how they look and everything I was looking at and going in depth with this, the way I looked at it, it just really screamed Kanye to me. And, you know, I'm taking it that it was probably somewhat of an inspiration to them when making these pieces, because it just gives off that vibe in a very subtle way, which it's not like blatantly like, oh, this is obviously inspired by Kanye. It really gives off that vibe with their simplicity and all that, but it's really weird. So I get where they're going with this direction. You know, I could get down with it. Just the problem here is that if you're going to do a style like this, you have to make sure everything just works. And again, I know they have everything they need to do this, since have you seen who they have hired as their apparel VP? I mean, like, yeah, they have their resources. It just needs more work. And with everything, this isn't just going to be perfect overnight. You know, if you don't know, this is me going off a little bit. If you don't know, the 100 Thieves guys went to Paris a couple weeks ago, and I have a strong feeling, and again, this is just a guess because I'm not a design expert or anything, but I'm taking the wild guess to say that they probably had some stuff in Paris to do with design, since Paris is just the spot for designing. And honestly, that could be a reason why I'm getting this whole Yeezus Kanye vibe, since if you know the whole story behind Yeezus and Kanye and where his design story went, it kind of looks exactly the same here. It just, things just start to add up to look the same. So if you get where I'm getting at, you get where I'm getting at. But to end this off, I really like the style they're going for, and you know, I believe if they get it right, it could work like a charm. But then again, the way they're doing it now, it just does not work well. And again, one last time, I'm not a design expert or anything, so I can't just sit here and act like I know everything. I can just give my criticism to it. But yeah, it's just really weird how they did it, and I feel like in their next several drops you'll see an improvement in all of them. Okay, just going up in improvement, since they're trying this whole new style. If you looked at any of their other drops, the only thing closest to this is their one color outfits with the logo in the middle. Other from that, everything's really like complicated. I mean, a cool design complicated, but just complicated, versus this where it's just very simplistic. So I just believe it's going to take them some time to get this down. But again, that's just coming from me, a consumer, which I would imagine you would probably listen to the consumers to somewhat of extent, because we're the one buying your stuff. I feel like the best thing they could do is just get a bunch of people in like a survey and be like, which designs do you like most? But it's 100 Thieves. I can't really say what, but that's basically it. You know, if there's any 100 Thieves guys watching, don't hate me too much on this, since I still love the whole thing you guys have going on. Just take this as constructive criticism from a consumer, okay? But yeah, that's been about it. So for my daily plug today, make sure you follow me on Twitch, link in the description. And from that, I will see you next Thursday, and I guess this Thursday. You get the whole vibe. Anyway, it's been real. Hope you enjoy.